Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Jasmine and today I kind of wanted to go over some self-care tips and suggestions, or mainly things that I do to kind of improve my self-care and habits that just make me feel a bit better at the end of the day or the end of the week, especially now that I'm kind of coming out of exam season, which has been quite busy and stressful. So things that I did during that time and that I will continue to do, or that I need to do more now that I have the time for it. And hopefully some of this will be useful to you, some things that you've already done or been doing, some things that you haven't. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to share some of those things because I think it's quite important for us to take care of our mental health. Even though we're coming out of the lockdown and pandemic, supposedly, we should still kind of focus on ourselves now that summer's here, especially. So the first thing that I wanted to do was, one that I wanted to talk about was sleep and relaxation time. So I'm not the best at getting the 8 hours or however many hours of recommended sleep every night. I have been better now that I have less deadlines, but I do find myself still awake sometimes at 1, 2 a.m. I know some people find themselves awake at 4, 5 a.m. or all night, so I'm not that bad, but I think just having a regular sleeping and waking up time has helped me kind of feel a bit more organised, and I like to leave as much of the day open as possible. So like I'm gonna try waking up earlier so that I've got more time to be productive and then also more downtime at the end of the day. So that's something that sometimes I'm good at, sometimes I'm not, but I think is helpful just to make you feel a bit more in control. I don't want to place too much emphasis on nutrition because sleep and nutrition often kind of go hand in hand, and it is important to fuel your body, to drink water as regularly as possible and to eat meals. I wouldn't say you have to have all 3 meals of your day or anything. I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a fitness and health expert, but for me, I operate better when I've eaten, even if that's light food. Like I tend to have light meals during the day, but I tend to plan out my meals as well, just so I know what food I have, what food I need to use, and when I should eat what, which I think has helped me on my current kind of like fitness journey, which I can do another video about, I don't know, but just in general, making sure that I have enough energy throughout the day, because that is important. And that there are lots of reasons we can have a difficult relationship with food, so I don't want to go into too much detail about that. Like I said, I can maybe do that at a separate time, but yeah, kind of knowing what food makes you feel good, what tastes good, what's quick to make, especially if you're a student, can just make things a bit easier and just a bit nicer. But yeah, water is the most important, and then kind of having food during the day, I would say. I also was gonna say kind of planning out what you need to do. So having a schedule, if you're a schedule kind of person. I know a lot of people aren't, because it can be there on your wall, on your desk, and you just ignore it, you don't care about it. It feels a bit too much like secondary school, which is fair enough, but if you know what things you need to do, like I try and have like a weekly planner, so I write on my notes app a checklist of the things I want to do in the week and allocate things to each day. Even if it doesn't go to plan, at least I have a vague idea of what I want to be doing and can hopefully stick to it more often than not. It just kind of helps having time for work and time for leisure as well. So yeah, or finding an alternative to that, just knowing what you need to do, how much time you have for it, so that you're not cramming things in and you often have time for yourself at the end of the day. I was also going to say moving about. Sorry, I forgot to say that I had written notes on my computer, that's why I'm looking down here all the time. But moving about and kind of just getting a little bit active. I don't mean like going on half marathons and jogging around the park every morning or anything like that. I definitely don't do that. I do try and exercise every morning, just because even though it's a bit of a chore to start, it makes me feel better at the end of it. And then if I don't leave the house for the rest of the day, I'm like at least my body has moved a little bit, I've done some stretching, I'm not just sat at the desk all day, because you can get quite, like, not rigid, I don't know what it is, like, you know, knots in your shoulders and in your legs, and just reminding your body how to move if you're physically able to, I think is important. That can be going for a walk if you like to. It can be doing yoga, stretching, dancing, exercise. It doesn't have to be anything strenuous. I'm not talking about going on like a weight loss fitness journey. Just doing a little bit of something that can help you feel better about yourself, or just feel good in your body at the end of it, I would recommend. Music as well, listening to things. So I like to listen to music because I like to sing and dance and imagine what it would be like if I was a famous singer. But it's just nice to have something playing in the background when you're doing chores, when you're relaxing, when you're going for a walk, or when you're doing things that are kind of boring. It just makes them a bit more bearable. And yeah, music can make you feel things, ideally positive things, but whatever kind of floats your boat, I would recommend listening to music. Or if not, then maybe podcasts are more your thing, or audiobooks. Just something that you don't have to place too much concentration on unless you want to, and you can kind of close your eyes and still be hearing something, if that makes sense. So it's not like a sensory overload. You can be relaxing at the same time as listening to it. I would say coming off social media, or not having too much of kind of an obsession with it, because it can be so easy. I have definitely had a bit of an obsession over it in the past. Recently, I've been a lot better. I've even like limited that amount of time that I can spend on it on my phone, on the settings app. So I don't go on it too often, because emotional fatigue that comes with constantly scrolling through so many things. There are obviously so many devastating things that are happening in the world right now, and consuming that regularly, as well as Twitter debates and hot topics and all the rest of it, things that are kind of just damaging to your mental health. It can be a bit of an overload and have quite a negative impact on your mental health, which obviously isn't good for self-care. So of course, stay well informed, that is important, but maybe have a cut-off point, or don't be scrolling through the latest news and things just before you're going to bed. Or at least that's how I feel in my case, because I'll end up going to bed thinking of depressing topics and maybe having bad dreams because of it. So I try not to do that too much. I would say that having a self-care habit as well is quite nice. So I like to paint my nails. I haven't painted them recently. And I like to wear earrings and rings and things, even if I'm not going out anyway, just because it makes me feel nice. It makes me feel like I've put a bit of effort in for me more than for anyone else, because no one else is going to see me. It's just something nice that I like to do. Some people like to do face masks. They might like to practice their makeup, do gardening, arts and crafts, baking. I like to do all of those things as well. Not that I do it a lot, but when I do, I think, you know, it's nice, it's relaxing, it doesn't take too much energy. So that's always nice. Yeah, and just taking time out for you every day, so that can come into it, having a habit, and just having a cut-off point in days. Obviously, when you've got deadlines and everything, or you're working, or you've got a lot of responsibilities, that's not always possible. But planning ahead, whether that's you say to yourself once every other week, I'm going to go to a cafe, or I'm going to try a new place, or go for a walk, or every evening I'm going to have at least 1 or 2 hours to watch a film, or to read, or to do something nice just for me, or to bake a nice meal for myself. You know, things like that I think are quite beneficial, because yeah, like I said before, there's so much going on in the world, so much devastation, so much heartbreak. I don't want to completely ignore what's going on in the world, definitely not. It is something that definitely contributes to depression and anxiety and stress and negative feelings, which we already have enough of, so it's good to find ways to counter that if we can, I feel like. Yeah, I think those were basically all the things that I wanted to say. There are probably lots of other self-care tips and just things that I do that haven't come to mind right now, but those are the main things that I do, that I'm trying to do, that I think have helped me get through these past few months and will hopefully continue to help me get through the next summer and the next year of uni. You know, you need to take everything step by step and try and make things as bearable for you as possible. So hopefully some of that was helpful. If not, I'm sorry. But hopefully I'll come up with more videos with better suggestions and things that, you know, work out well. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you're having a nice day and you enjoy the rest of your week now that the sun's out, and hopefully that can bring some positive energy positive energy to you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.